Good morning, folks. Today is the 4th of November, 2009. Thanks for logging on to Dave's Daily Opinion. And I'm not going to really give you an opinion today. It's going to be a little story that it's an inspiring story, actually. And I'm going to be trying to be as quick as possible. It's a story I first read back. It's like the beginning of October. It's when Brett Favre was, playing Green Bay in Minnesota, and everybody was talking about, oh my God, Brett Favre against Green Bay. I mean, you couldn't get away from it. I mean, it was all over ESPN. It was all over the newspapers, New York Times. I mean, everywhere. I mean, the only thing sports writers and columnists and broadcasters talked about was Brett Favre in Green Bay. And it really irked me. I mean, it's like, God, I mean, there's so much going on, and everybody's hanging all over Brett Favre. I didn't understand it. So I picked up the Orlando Sentinel, and I read a little story, actually, and it was about a young girl. Actually, Mike Bianchi is a sports writer for the Orlando Sentinel, and he wrote this. And when he wrote this, I mean, kudos to you, Mike. I mean, what a great story. He wrote this during the midst of everything that was going on with Brett Favre. And so get ready to be inspired, people. Get ready for a little perspective, okay? Real quick, it's about a girl named Bree, okay? Her friends call her Bree. Her family calls her Bree. Her real name's Brianna McMahon, okay? When you realize what Bree's gone through, when I finish with this story, when you realize what she's gone through, the Monday Night Football games and the Brett Favre games and my NBA, NHL, college football packages, my success, your success, and a lot of things that you think are really important in your lifetime aren't really so important. This story really makes you think about what's important in your life. And it's not success, and it's not the money, and it's not the fame, and it's not NHL hockey, and it's not NBA basketball. It's a lot more than that. So let me get on with the story here. And this comes after yesterday. I was talking about the Brandon Spikes incident. I raved about that. I was so upset about it. I'm still upset about it, Brandon. So I was still upset about the whole Brandon Spikes ordeal and his suspension. And in that opinion yesterday, I had mentioned to you that there's certain things that people do, sports figures and people do in their life, that that one thing that they do leaves an impression on you for the rest of your life. And this story and this girl has left an impression on me, and she'll definitely leave an impression on you. So let's get on with the story. Bree was she's a 17-year-old high school soccer player for Freedom High School. It's a suburb of Orlando, Florida. And I read about this again in the beginning of October, and she went through a horrific incident. She was actually at a fundraiser, a car fundraiser, washing cars. You've seen them. You always see them. I've seen them 3 times a day, sometimes on the weekends. The kids are out there washing cars. They're trying to raise money for their team, whether it be soccer, baseball, football, softball, whatever it may be. They're washing cars to raise money. Well, Brianna was doing that with her teammates one weekend, the beginning of October, and a lady was getting her car washed, and her foot came off the brake and hit the accelerator and pinned Bree between a brick wall and the car, and actually crushed both of her legs. I mean, literally severely crushed both of her legs. And she was in the hospital for quite some time. She had one leg was amputated, and one leg was they tried to save it, and they did eventually save her other leg. She was going in and out of comas, trying to fight the infection and the trauma from the injuries. And I saw a segment on TV yesterday about Bree. And I read this story last month, and it was inspiring when I read it. But man, nothing's more inspiring when I saw it on TV yesterday. They did a follow-up, and she's sitting in a chair, and she's sitting there. She's smiling. She's laughing. Her friends are around her. Her family's around her. She's missing one leg, and her other leg's in a full leg cast. And she's a happy 17-year-old girl. She realizes how lucky she was. She realizes that soccer isn't her whole entire life, that there's more things more important than soccer, and she's extremely happy. She's smiling, she's happy, and what an inspiration. I mean, really. Just what an inspiration. I mean, you can't, there's no other words to express it. I mean, just an absolute incredible inspiration for everybody. I'm telling this because Bree is such an inspiration. I mean, she had a full ride. She had a full soccer scholarship to go play soccer. She had her whole life ahead of her, and you know what? She still does, and she realizes that. So kudos to you, Bree. I mean, just really, your story is such an inspiration, and I won't ever forget your story, ever. It's just fantastic. I mean, you're an inspiration. You make people like me and other people, think and think about really what's important. So, and we wish you nothing but success. And I can tell you right now, people like Bree, people that have endured or overcome situations that she's in, she'll be the best at whatever she does. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. She will do the best, and she will be the best at what she does because of the situations that she's gone through. So, man, just kudos to you, Bree. If you want to read more about her story, go to Google and type in Brianna McMahon, and I'll spell that for you. It's BREANNA-MCMAHON. And type in her, type in Freedom High School. You'll see a picture of her. She's absolutely a beautiful, beautiful young girl, and with just an absolutely incredible attitude. So thanks again, Bree. So not so much a story today, or not so much of an opinion, but more of a story. But it's inspiring, man. When I read stories like that, or I see stories like that on the television, a lot of these, military, a lot of these soldiers coming back from Iraq or Afghanistan, missing legs and missing arms, and just all the trauma and everything they've been through. Man, I mean, you can't. I mean, it really, really puts things into perspective. You really, really start thinking about what's important. And it's not handicapping games. I mean, I love what I do, and I love my career, but, I love my family more. I love my dogs more. And I love my friends more. Just makes you think about that for a minute. All right, so on a lighter note, I'm out of here. Thanks again for logging on to my opinion for the day. Again, not so much of an opinion, but a kind of an inspirational story. I really wish you would log on to Google and type her name in, Brianna McMahon, MCMAHON. Read a little bit about her. She's also got a recovery fund. You can send money and donate. If it's $1, if it's $20, if it's $100, it doesn't matter. She's got a recovery fund. It's going to help her, pay some medical bills and help her family pay some medical bills and things like that. Great family. I mean, you got to have a fantastic mom and dad to raise a child like that absolutely has that kind of positive attitude. So kudos to her parents too. Great job. All right. Thanks again, and we'll see you tomorrow. Today is the 4th of November, 2009. This is Dave Ripley.